Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Away Gooners Podcast. I'm not going to sing we were top of the league, especially after Tottenham won today and then went above us. But it's a very great victory after our predictions that we would never keep a clean sheet. Every one of these guys predicted that we would not keep a clean sheet, and
did you believe, buddy? First of all,
we did. So it doesn't matter, Bob. It doesn't matter. And as it's always usual for Arun to butt in, and like before I introduce, today he's missing, so you did the honors.
I will always, yes. Okay.
But to the listeners, we are here to discuss about the Crystal Palace review of the victory at the Palace ground by 2 goals. With me today, Bob, as you guys have heard already. Hi, Bob.
Hey, mate.
And Eben coming back again, joining with us. Hi, Eben.
Hello, Vijay. Good to be back.
Good to be back, indeed. For all the listeners, we did predict a 2-goal. At least Bob did. 2 goals scored. So we were right on that matter. And for the viewers, we are sometimes live. So do subscribe, do like, do share, and do comment in your predictions and stuff. With that out of the way, Bob, I'll start with the question that is always going to be the first question, right? The first 11 starting lineup, there were no surprises.
No, absolutely not. That was the strongest 11 that you could put in. And maybe you could take a 50-50 call on Zinchenko or Tierney, but Tierney is coming back from a long injury. So that explains as to why Zinchenko got the start, but it was the strongest predicted 11. No surprises.
Eben, I went to the pub as usual here to watch the game, and it was full as in we had more than 60-70 people there. The last time it happened was the North London Derby last year. So is this and everywhere I asked, it's the same. People were like watching the game in droves. Everyone was watching the game. Every Arsenal fan, even though it's a Friday for us and everything. Right? Is this a marker of how much Arsenal fans believed after the preseason that we had?
I think yes. Arsenal fans, they're always pessimistic or skeptical, right? Because that's what we've faced through these years of rebuilding. Umpteen rebuildings, not one rebuild. So, but I think this season is different because I think even though last season we finished, it was disappointing to not get that top 4. But I think we still did better than what we would have expected at the beginning of the last season. And I think from there, it was important for us to build on. So I think with the new additions and the fact that we got the additions much earlier in the transfer window.
We got to see them play in the preseason. That's very new for us.
Having a full preseason. And obviously the performances in preseason also. Obviously, Premier League is different. Not that we can do the same thing in Premier League, but still, I think there's a level of optimism. The fans are backing the team. Obviously, the new players add to that factor, players who've come in. So I think, yes, there is a level of optimism for sure.
With that optimism, Eben, do you think that optimism is repaid by a 2-0 victory on the first day?
I think yes. See, I think we have not been doing well against Palace. I think in the last 9 games against them, I think this was probably our second victory. Last season, we took a 1 point from them. I think we
2 games put together.
Yeah, 2 games put together. Obviously, nobody has forgotten the 3-0. And then
I am trying my darn best to forget that, but it's not working.
Yeah. So I think considering we've not been doing well against Palace and going away at Selhurst Park, it was never going to be easy. So coming away from a 2-0 victory is nothing like it. 3 points in the bag, start of the season. So we are already ahead of the last season.
Ahead of last season, I said the exact same words when the first goal went in, which was like, hey, we scored the first goal after 4 games last season, and we won it 1-0, and this time we have topped both of those stats. So I'm happy about that.
We scored the second goal after 5 games when we played Burnley.
Yeah. So we are. I'm very happy about the 2-0 victory. But Bob, even more happier than the 2-0 victory was the first 20 minutes about how we played. We came out. There has been some problem, and I have already raised that. We have all talked about it, about Arteta team coming out of the blocks slower than expected, and all those things. Like Arteta needs to make a halftime talk before the team clicks and stuff like that. But this was like the team kind of came out like, we are ready, we are fighting, we are here, right? And we were attacking, and Palace had no answer after all the talks. I mean, I'm going to pull Luke in, who came in for our preview a little bit, and like haha at him. But that is exactly what we did. We just came out of the blocks hungry, and it was.
I'll tell you
great
my first impressions. My first impressions after watching at least the first initial 15-20 minutes was the fact that this is definitely not going to be Brentford away as last season. That low were my expectations. Seriously, we were doing much better. And you could see that, the energy that especially Jesus and Zinchenko, they brought in, along with SALIBA as well, the new signings.
SALIBA, we would have to talk a lot about him later, but yeah.
Of course. But still, if you were to just look back at things, right, this team was just gelling on from the word go. Yeah. So this was an evident sign that the team has obviously worked on their shortcomings and all those sort of things. But then, I mean, the usual suspects came into picture with obviously Martinelli's miss. Oh my God. I mean, this is going to be one of those days. Always as an Arsenal fan, you keep thinking about it all the time, isn't it? You can't avoid it no matter what.
So I think the team was trying to remind us they're still Arsenal.
Yeah, obviously.
They were trying to remind us that the Martinelli miss, or when we got a chance to bury the game towards the end, ødegaard wanted to pass instead of shoot. All those are things that because that raised our heartbeats. Right?
You got
another 10 more
back,
minutes.
Right?
Yeah. So they want Arsenal fans to be grounded. So I think they did that.
Yeah, but that Martinelli miss was, I wouldn't say it was worse, but it just proves that he still has a level to go up, right? If he is scoring goals, if he could add that shooting ability and everything, there is a level that we could see. That he sky's the limit. But then, even the first goal comes in. It was a set piece. Surprise from last season. We have been very good at set piece goals, but it was a weird one, right? It was not like it was not the regular of the ball deliver and then scoring. No, it went to Zinchenko. Zinchenko looped it back, which Jesus missed it, but then Martinelli scored. I mean, obviously, scoring is always better than anything else in the game. Even a deluded Arsenal fan like me would be able to say that. But that was a very different, or at least for me, it was a different set piece routine to anything that I've seen.
See, I think it was good, because I think one thing we've noticed from even last season is we are trying certain set piece routines, and many times it does come off. I remember last season there was a routine where I think it was ødegaard or Saka, they passed it. Cedric comes in and takes a shot. A grounded pass.
Oh yeah,
So that came to my memory. So this was also it felt like a good routine. You play a ball into an empty area towards the back of the post, not even back of the post, towards the far end of the post, and Zinchenko put it back in. And once it's back in with that crowd, there is always a probability to score, and that's what happened. It was a good ball. Zinchenko had a great header.
He came out from nowhere, right? he
he came
was
out of nowhere.
yeah.
So I was seeing this. I think towards the interval, there was this interval analysis,
Mid-match, yeah, mid-match analysis.
mid-match analysis with Ian Wright and Michael Owen were doing.
I love that guy always.
Oh, they actually showed the movements. Okay, so
Yeah,
I think we had Gabriel Jesus at the far end of the post, pulling one player back. There were two players in the middle. This is
Partey
away
had
from
it.
the
Yeah,
away from all the crowd. And Zinchenko was one at one end, and just out of nowhere he just comes in. It was like it was a very nonchalant routine. The ball comes in, he puts it back in. Fortunately, it came to Martinelli, and he could finish it, so it worked out perfect.
hmm. but when we went 1-0 up, I think that's when we started making, trembles within Arsenal hearts. First, Ramsdale.
Sorry, buddy. Just a clarification. Trembles as in like if the lead is going to last, right?
that kick from Ramsdale, it just brought back all the trauma from previous years of seeing, Flappy Hansky, Manuel Alumnia, and all those things. I was like, oh no, not again. And I mean, even if he is not here, even if he is not there during the game, I could hear Deepak's voice in my head going like, I told you so. I told you so. Aaron Ramsdale is a problem with no one pushing him. And really, I was hearing that voice in my head going like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And Crystal Palace kind of like clawed back into the game after that 20 minutes with a couple of chances. Yeah.
See, I think it is a two-factor thing. One, we dropped our level, is what I felt. We felt. I mean, we did take it a bit easy after the first goal, and as well as the fact that Palace started riling in, and then they started getting behind the team. With the fans and the players as well got a bit more confidence, in going forward and all those sort of things. This howlers doesn't definitely help. Thankfully it didn't work in our favor this time. So I mean, work against our favor, I should say. But at least on any other day, I mean, had it gone in, right, then it would have created a different atmosphere suddenly, out of nowhere, right? And it's all us to blame. Ramsdale, we've spoken about him as much in the past. I still credit him for the way that he kept us in the game, because I felt after
Saliba, yeah.
So yeah, he was the standout player. If not for his saves, then we would have definitely been out of sight. At least not even come with 3 points. I mean, maybe we could have scrapped a point or two. But not definitely more than that. So he definitely did keep us in the game. But then there are these moments of lack of concentration, you could say, and those are the moments that he has to be wary of, and then try and be more careful. I was thinking about having watched All or Nothing, there was this video of Ramsdale's dad almost getting a heart attack during the middle of the game, and then he just got up and left during one of those games. So that was what was coming into my mind. Had Ramsdale's dad been there,
lucky you. I was hearing Deepak's voice all through my head going like, I told you so, I told you so, I told you so. And I'm like, I hate it when he's right. Eben, about the Crystal Palace ascendancy, right? I think it started even before the halftime, but after halftime, they came out a little bit different. Or is it just me? Because I thought that the gameplay was a little bit different. They were using those long balls a lot, where they're like what Luke was mentioning, right? They had this plan of pointed long balls, which I could see a lot more in the second half. Maybe it's because of they got a lot more, possession, so that they did that.
I think what happened was first half they didn't expect Arsenal to come the way we came. So I think they were in the back foot towards the end of the first half. That's when the ødegaard chance and all. So they finished the first half on a little bit better than how they started it. But second half, I'm assuming Vieira would have given them a talking to, or motivated them, whatever he did. But yeah, they did come back and they started well. I think we started well for a minute or two, but then I think we were not as fluid or as the first 20 minutes. So they
How much
had
of that? How much of that is due to Odegaard not having a great day?
no, I don't think, yes, he didn't have a great day, but I don't think that was the only factor, because even in the first 20 minutes, Odegaard was still there, but still we did play well, and he didn't do anything outstanding in those first 20 minutes. So I think it was, and if you notice, I don't know if it's just me, I think most of our gameplay was, I think, in the first half, or at least the first 20 minutes, it was starting from the left. It was
Yeah.
always Zaka Zinchenko. That's how it was coming through most of the game, actually. And but last season was different. Last season was Odegaard Saka
Yeah.
towards the right side most of the time.
Saka was unusually quiet, I felt.
Yeah, I think he had his few bursts, but based on usual standards or what we saw last season, yeah, I think he was quite. So I think it
But
was a combination of everything. So, and Crystal Palace long balls, I think I have to say that is something I probably everybody noticed. They had the position. I think it was Joachim Anderson. His long balls were precise. I don't think how many times did he find Ayu in that corner. So, and I think in the starting they were not doing long balls. They were just playing, but I think they switched on to long balls, and I think they created few chances based on that also.
this is where, Bob, I had like a lot of concerns, right? Like I have a couple of concerns in the game with Arsenal is that we always seem to struggle a little bit when teams change their strategy or something happens outside of what we prepared. And then we get back when we have some external inputs from it. Like during this game, there was a moment where Arteta pulled all the players in for a drink when a player was down, and that's the moment I think we came back into the game.
Yep.
Right? Like, um, does this happen because of the team being young, or we don't have any player on the pitch who could make that decision, or is it a mixture of both? Because it kind of I kind of feel this concern about this team that they are not able to
I think almost every one of us would have felt that, because when the team needed a direction, obviously the boss was there, and they got a chance when that was during Doucouré's injury. Yes, I agree to your point. It's a combination of both, I would say, Vijay, because it is as well the fact that players sometimes need inspiration from the manager, and as well as the fact that when they are not able to clearly, when they have not clearly played together for a long or not gone on to do something in a long space of time, I probably think that they have not gelled together enough. And of course, with the new signings and all those sort of things, they have the base foundation, but they are adding more things into the mix. So which means that they of course need more time to adapt together and gel together for them to make their decisions. This team is not set like what City or Liverpool is. So that's a different dimension that we are talking about. So which means that this team definitely needs to work on together. And I think time and again, we need inputs from the manager to make some inspiration and do some changes.
My worry comes from the fact that like this team, Crystal Palace team, didn't capitalize on their ascendancy as much as some other teams would have. Like, for example, if we would have had the same situation with hate to admit it, Spurs or Chelsea or City or Liverpool, like those teams could capitalize on that moment before the manager could give his input. And that's a little bit of concern because they would have had like 2-3 goals in and they would have gone out of reach before we could respond back. That is my concern about that. But on that also, like to piggyback on that point, I also have the concern about Arteta not making changes. We didn't make any changes. We had a 5-sub rule. I was screaming for changes to be made from the 60th moment onwards. We didn't make anything, and Crystal Palace made a bunch of changes even before the 60th minute. I mean, obviously they were chasing the game, so they had to make change. And I'm not complaining the whole while, but these are concerns that I got from the game.
See, for me, the changes was not that big a problem for me. The reason being who was sitting on the bench for us. Will be very blunt. See, you want to make a change to either if somebody is tired or you want to bring on more quality. Now we had what, Pepe, Reece Nelson on the bench.
Nketiah.
Pepe, Reece Nelson. I'll come to Nketiah at the end. Pepe, Reece Nelson, Holding, Tierney, Nketiah, and I don't remember who else was there. So I think out of these, I would have seen only two players coming on, which was Tierney and Nketiah. I think Nketiah could have come on slightly earlier, because I think what I noticed, or what I felt, was when Nketiah came in, uh, he was closing down players very quickly, and that reduced those long balls from Anderson and everything. So I think maybe Nketiah could have come earlier, but I'm assuming Arteta didn't pull Jesus only because of the fact that we had only a 1-goal lead, and Palace had two golden opportunities which they didn't capitalize on. So it was just a matter of 1 goal, and we would have to go back into a mode where we need to attack to get all 3 points. Maybe
Did you
that's why
guys
he
notice
waited.
Did you guys notice the exact replica of the Zinchenko header from the corner with Anderson did in the second half? That was eventually saved by Ramsdale. It was an exact duplicate.
He tried. I wouldn't give that much, valuation to the whatever he did, because he's not an Arsenal player, and I don't like Anderson.
You have to look at how they did it.
I'm not here to do justice to football tactics and stuff, Bob. That's all you guys. I'm here to gas up Arsenal fans if I can, and praise and do all these nonsense things with Arsenal. But Bob, regarding Saka, right? Like. Saka's goal, our second goal, that's Saka's goal. I'm not giving that as an own goal. It's Saka's goal.
Come on, but it's going out. It's an own goal.
I don't care. He made the goal. I'm giving it to Saka. If you have problems with me, you have problems with me. That's it. But that goal, he tried that move even before, and he tried fizzing a ball in. But instead, this time, he took a shot, which I was happy about, because both Martinelli and Saka, both of them, I want them to take more shots in the game. That's what I want out of them, and that I'm so happy about. The only thing, like Eben mentioned, the ødegaard, I want him to take more shots too, but he does what Arsenal midfielders do, which is trying to walk the ball into the net, which is fucking annoying for me to see.
In all fairness, if that back heel came, if it had gone through, it would have been an amazing back heel, and it would have been a simple finish for, I think, who was coming
Nketiah. It was Nketiah.
Nketiah. So it would have been very simple. No, it was not Nketiah. I think it was Martinelli, because
Martinelli.
It was the Jesus pass to Jesus is the one who played that amazing ball through to ødegaard. So, but yeah, I think I can't take it. My emotions are same as yours. I was pissed off. I was furious. I was like, you could have killed the game over there. Come on. Why do you want us to go through this hell?
Yeah, exactly. And I was screaming my head off at Martin, like, just put your foot through. I don't care if it is saved. It's fine if it's saved. If it is deflected out, it's fine. Not this way. I've seen the same thing happen like million times as an Arsenal fan, and I don't want to see this again. When it comes off, we get a Norwich goal.
You would have gotten hairdresser treatment from Arteta.
I'm not so sure. Yeah. I'm not so sure. But Bob, after the second goal and after the changes, I felt one thing, needs to be addressed, right? The whole game, White Zaha duel. I give it to White because we kept a clean sheet. No matter what Zaha did or whatever, White is not a right back. Maybe he might be, but he had Zaha within his reach, and he's not fast enough for Zaha, but his reading of the game was amazing.
Many of them were in Twitter were actually raving about the fact that Zaha was in White's pocket. I wouldn't seriously go that far, mate. Honestly, no. White.
Yeah, you have a soft for Zaha.
No, see, I think everybody of us have a soft spot for Zaha. That's a different story. But then Zaha was a constant menace, and White had his moments of nerves as well. As in, like he was uncomfortable at times, but then he did come through and all those sort of things. you can say everything. But yes, as you said, what matters is finally he made him quiet that, it was a clean sheet. So that's what matters at the end of the day. But it was not a very outright dual victory and all those sort of things you could boast of. He did well. He did keep him quiet, and that's what matters at the end of the day. It was not clean, but then who cares at the end? It's okay.
The other person that I will give it to you both to talk about is the man of the match. According to me, according to all the Arsenal fans, according to a lot of people, I think Carragher came out and said that he likened him to a young Rio Ferdinand, which I felt was insulting.
Please stop the hyping.
but I'm not hyping him. But he had a great game, Ivan. Right, like there were 2 tackles which were like so clean. It was cheered in the pub like it was goal scored.
Yeah, I think he had an amazing game. He was our best player on the pitch. There's no doubt in that. I think his tackles were good, his interceptions, his passes. He was calm on the ball because that's what you want from a defender. He was not flustered. He was calm, and there were times where I think he had to clear the ball, and he did clear the ball as well. So I think for me, he had I wouldn't say a perfect game, but a good game. And he definitely deserved the man of the match.
I'll just read through some stats here that was recorded after the game. So it was William Saliba had 62 touches, 46 out of 49 pass completed, 7 clearances, and then 7 possession ones. So which just shows that, what sort of a player that we've been missing in the middle of the park. It's definitely a value-added addition. His debut has been long coming. Hats off to him for persevering, and then as well coming out during the summer that he definitely wanted to stay, and then prove his worth at Arsenal. So goes on to say a lot of things about.
If only he could sign. If only he could sign the thing right away.
Yes, the fear for all Arsenal fans. Yes, but I think we have to just release him for now, and then we'll keep going. I just hope that he improves from strength to strength, and then goes on to do bigger things again, bigger clubs.
Okay, give me one word answer. Okay, is Saliba Gabriel the partnership, or are you still on fence? Yes or no? That's it. No explanations.
No.
Maybe.
Okay.
Actually, I had a follow-up question before you asked.
Okay.
My question was, so I think today there was an under 21 game.
Yeah.
Marquinhos, Tomiyasu and all played.
Mm-hmm.
So more important factor is Tomiyasu played.
Yeah.
When Tomiyasu comes back to full fitness, who plays at centre back?
For me, right now, I wouldn't pull Saliba out because he hasn't done anything wrong.
And Arteta needs a left-footed centre half, so which means that Gabriel picks himself.
So White drops for me. I mean, controversial, but that's where the listeners should be able to comment in what their thoughts are. See how I plugged in there.
I think for me, Gabriel didn't have probably the best game.
Yeah.
Arteta's reliance on a left-footed centre back, everybody knows that. But if that was not the case, I would have played Saliba and White.
That's an option. But okay, guys, we are almost there to the end of the podcast. One last thing that I want to ask both of you. Right. This win means 3 points. Yeah, obviously that even I know. But what does that mean for Arsenal? The start of season, this win, what does that bring?
It brings nothing. It just means that we are better than what we were at Brentford last season, and we just have to keep pushing on for the rest of the 37 games.
Okay, Evan.
Like I said, like Bob said, 3 points in the bag, but 1 game at a time. We are still an improving squad, improving team, and we go on 1 game at a time. No expectations.
There you go. To all the listeners, see, this is why you have to listen to us, because we also fly high in most times and also bring everything down at most times. So that's the balance that we are trying to trying to have it here in the Away Gooners.
I
Thank you, guys.
I wanted to ask a couple of trivia questions to you both.
Yes.
Who's the first Brazilian to open a scoring?
I know that. Everyone knows that, Bob. Such a simple thing. Gabriel Martinelli. Yeah.
Really? I thought you would say Firmino, mate.
No way. You mean the center back, striker / midfielder? No, he didn't do that.
Yes, it's Martinelli. But then, okay, follow-up question. Who's the last South American to open the scoring at Premier League?
I know that answer too. Evan, go ahead. I'll give it to you.
Everybody heard the commentary on the game. And both this came out over there.
Yes.
This was not out of commentary. I read that. Okay.
We heard it in the commentary.
It's the player for whom we made a 40 million plus £1.
We smoked some random shit that day. But Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez is the answer for that one. But anyways, Bob, I think it's time for us to wind up. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining in. Hopefully, we'll continue this run. And as usual, my hopes for all the games for Arsenal to win 10-0 comes true. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Yes, bye-bye.